What's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking back in. For those of you who are new, my name is Dave with Everything in Between. Today we're going to do hopefully a quick project. We are going to, we just got in some Ultrawall. These are like lumber supports or like a wall mounted organizer or lumber storage. Just to start off, we're going to put it here on the wall. It comes as a 2-pack and as a 4-pack. So a 2-pack basically means you're going to get 2 support bars that go on the studs, and they can be spaced out however you need, right? So you get 6, 2 on the top, 2 on the middle, 2 on the bottom, and those are the folding support arms, the foldable support arms. These have pretty good reviews. The only gripes I've seen is that the support bars don't come down evenly. They may come down one a little bit lower than the other one, but we'll see. We'll add a little bit of weight to it and see if they even out for us. We're going to be using it for sheets of plywood, really thin 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch plywood. So the arms come out about 16 to 16.5 inches, and we cut ours at 17. So it'll probably have about 1 inch, 1.5 inch overhang, which should be okay. These are rated for like 100 pounds, I think, for each level or something like that. But it has like a total of 300 and something pounds of weight. Everything's in the description. We'll put a link down below in case you want to look at it and see if it works for you. Also, if you only get one set, I got 2, so mine come with 4. It's a 4-pack, so you can get a 2-pack or a 2-pack or a 4-pack, and so you will have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I have tighter tolerances in between each one, so it keeps my wood as flat as possible. If you only get a 2-pack, you can put one here and you can put one over here if you need to. If you need to, you can get you like 1/2 inch plywood, cut it down to the length and cut it down to the depth of the arms. I wouldn't go too much overhang with it, but you can use it as a shelf, and you can put the shelf on there, and then you can put your lumber on top, and that'll help support the shorter pieces instead of just putting them on the floor or on the ground somewhere. So that's just an idea. If you only get the 2-pack and you have to spread them out far, you won't be able to support the smaller 2-foot, 3-foot lengths, so you can use that as a shelf. Getting into the bolt or the lag screw, 6 sides, so it is a 1/2 inch and it fits nice and tug. There's no play in there, so it's a 1/2 inch. I'm going to start it with a ratchet first, just to get it in there, and then I have an adapter for my drill. It is a 1/2 inch, fits nice and tight, perfect, no movement, no play. If you do not have a 1/2 inch, 13 millimeter should work. It fits right in there, nice. There is a little bit of play, but it's like a fraction of a millimeter, and it should go in with no problem. You do get screws, you do get a bag, you get 6, so you can do, I believe it's top, middle, and bottom to secure them, and then you have other screws and washers as well. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get up close and personal with the mounting bracket. This is what's going to go onto your stud, just like that. So this can get confusing in case yours doesn't have the instructions. So you have 2 sides, all sides have holes. They all go through the unit or the mounting bracket. Alright, so the mounting holes are going to be the holes closest to the edges. Alright. Well, not this one, but this one, top and bottom. This one here, they're further in from the edge. So now that we determined the holes that are the mounting holes, we need to figure out the orientation. Is it this way or is it this way? And there is a difference. So on the side here, on these side holes, the side hole needs to be above the center hole. So we flip it this way, we have the side hole here which is above the center hole. So make sure you orientate it like this. This is the correct way. All right, so for your lag screw, you need to pre-drill holes. That way you don't split, have any blowouts in your stud. For the drill bit, I chose a 3/16. I always do it a little bit smaller than the core, which is the center of the screw. All right, so it's slightly smaller than the core of the screw. So make sure you plan before you start drilling holes. I knew that I kind of wanted it on the upper side because I do want to put a wood shelf down here so that I can put my my exhaust fan and install it on the bottom. But I also want to test to make sure it's not hitting the top of this garage piece. All right, so I also just want to kind of put this here, and I want to make sure it can fold up, and it's got about an inch of clearance, so this should work out just for me. But as always, check all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this from the top stud up here, and I'm going to mark it down, and I'm going to go all the way to the end over here, and I'm going to see if it's low enough. Got my 3/16 inch drill bit, just making a quick mark right there. You can use a pencil. All I have is a wood pencil. This is flat, not enough. And now I'm going to go ahead and drill the pilot hole. Now that I have my first pilot hole drilled, I'm going to install the first lag screw. Not going to do it tight all the way, maybe 95%. It's still going to have a lot of play in it. And then we will mark the second and third and then drill those holes in there. Okay, got my first one started. Okay. Alright, so we got it. It's freed, just like that. And that's straight right there. Okay. Now we can move this away. Something in here, maybe it is a nail coming from the other side, from this sheeting here, where it's not going all the way through. So we're going to have to try and figure out how to go around that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install the bottom one to keep this from going left and right, and then we'll see if we can get it. Maybe it's just a hard piece of wood or something. But anyway, I'm going to get the bottom one in there. Okay, there's the start of it. You know, I would have thought they had washers to go behind this, but they don't. I don't have any extras. Maybe you don't need it. I mean, it'll mess up the finish. If I do find some, I may add some behind these heads, but they didn't come with it. At least not for that purpose. Okay, it's good. It's sturdy in there. I don't have it all the way, maybe 98%, 95, 98%. So I'm going to go ahead and see if that will give me some stabilization so it doesn't veer off to the side for that pilot hole. Alright, so here we go. Right in the middle. So we'll get our 1/2 inch or 13 if you don't have a 1/2 inch. Put it in our lag screw. Actually, it did go sideways a little bit. Alright, so once you have them pretty much all the way in, like 95, 98%, just enough to where it's snug, you'll finish it off with your ratchet because you don't want to drive it in too deep. Okay? Okay, I think that is perfect, sturdy, and we've got 3 more to do. So pre-drill your holes, put your bolts, Make sure it's straight, aligned straight. This one ended up being a little bit off. So I think that may be some people's issues with them not being straight or flat or whatever. It's because you've got to make sure these things are level going across and make sure they're going level vertically. And that's the issue I think most people are probably having with them not being aligned, straight, you know, this and that. So anyway, let's get busy and let's hurry up and finish this thing. All right, so as you go along, you want to make sure you stay level. Now I have this 2 foot, which is good enough for the first 2, and maybe even if I know that these 2 are at the same height or level, I should be okay to determine making sure that this next one is the same height as this one or level. So I can use my 2 footer to come over here. Now if you want to try and measure all 3, you can get something long, like this is a 36-inch clamp. I just laid it across, and this is pretty straight. It actually has my pencil mark that I already measured from this right here, and it's actually perfect. And I'll show you that here in a second. It kind of shows you, there's the mark, the pencil mark, and it sits right above there, and that is going across those 2 right there to the 3rd one, and then it's perfectly in the center. Okay, all right, so I just wanted to show you that step as we go along. I have the 3rd one marked out. I have the holes pre-drilled. I'm going to leave this on here, and I'm going to actually line it up and see if it stays flush on the top there. I'm going to try my best to get in here and show you, but do you see that gap right there? Okay, make sure all your pieces are flush behind that screw. All right, now this was hard to go in. It feels like it's not going to go in anymore, but always make sure that that thing is all the way flush to that stud and you have no gap. Just look at the side and make sure it's flush.
I didn't know you were, I didn't even see that.
All right, so after installing, let's look at the level. That one looks pretty center or pretty straight. Let's go to the second one from the left. That looks pretty straight. Let's go 3rd one from the left. That looks pretty straight. Now this very first one here was the one we're having trouble with, and it is off quite a bit. So if that is straight, it's off quite a bit there. So hopefully that doesn't affect the rest of the 3, but those 3 are perfectly straight up and down vertically. This one's off a little bit. Alright, so they give you these little plastic sticker washers. Alright, you can, I don't know if you can see the glare, but it has a shiny side and then it has the paper side. Apparently it's 3M to that, and so you just peel off the paper and now you have a clear piece. The instructions don't say this, but what I do is I take that clear piece, the adhesives on this other side, I just put it into the bolt right in the very beginning. And I'm going to show you how I align it so that you're not doing it by hand and you make it go off a little bit. So here I have that bolt, and then I just start fitting it in, right? And it sticks, okay? You can pull it out, and then now you can set the adhesive on there, and there you go. That way you don't try and do it by hand and you just go off, because supposedly it's 3M adhesive, so it might be just sticky. And there you go. All right, I just wanted to show you. You see all the little white 3M washers. There's quite a few of them in there. I just put one on either side So 6, 12, 18, 24, and there's a whole bunch extra in the second bag. So just pointing that out. All right, so finally we're going to use the long pan head bolt, and then you have a flathead washer, and then a nylon lock nut on the other side. So we'll do the bottom one. So just by putting that on there, the spacer is the space between, or the gap between this and the mounting bracket. So if you have space in between there, that's what those are for. So I think some of the reviews I've seen is that when you tighten them up, they still wobble. And that's probably because, and I've seen somebody say that just crank it down until you bend the sides of the mounting bracket. Well, that's what the little spacers are for. There is about 1.5 millimeters of space if I push this to one side, and that's why they give you all the extra spacers, so that you can add more if you need to. So we're gonna add one more on just one side, doesn't matter, and if it's still wobbly, then we'll add one to the other side. Go through the hole, stick it on there, and slide this on. It's a little bit tighter fit. You don't hear that dangling anymore. But it can use one more. So if we need to double up on every single one of them, we won't have enough. So let's hope that we don't have to do that. I'm gonna put another one on this side, and then we'll try and fit it on again. Alright, let's try for fitment. That right there is a nice tight fit. I can actually let it hang there without it falling down. Okay, so now let's get the bolt through, the flat washer, and the nylon lock nut, and let's put this one together. Alright, for this we'll use a Phillips screwdriver on one end and a 10 millimeter socket on the other end. Okay, so a little downside here. I'm definitely going to either go out and look for, I'm going to contact the seller first, but there are not enough of the plastic sticker spacers if you want it to be snug, perfectly snug. I don't want to put stress on the welds and pushing those ears in. So if you just put one of those plastic spacer washers on either side, you're still going to have a lot of play. And in order for it to be snug, you're going to have to put pressure on these welds right here, and you're going to have to squeeze it in a little bit. You're going to have to tighten it to where those ears get squeezed in like that. And you really don't want to do that. Is it going to put enough stress on those welds to where they'll break and fail? I'm not sure. Probably not, but I'm not willing to take that risk. I thought I was going to have tons extra, and I don't even have enough to double up. So if it's going as it's going right now, I've had to put 2 on either side, so it's 4, 8, 12. I've already put 1. You can see all of them on there. You can see the plastic on the side, the little spacer washer. I put them already on either side, but all I have left is 6 and then 1. So I have 7 left. So I just have enough to actually do 1 more, and that is it. So a bunch came in one bag, but then not enough came in the other bag. So either we need to go out and search for some M6 3M adhesive plastic spacers, or the seller is going to send us some. So we need 12 more of these. All right, so that is kind of a letdown. So anyway, either the seller sent me some or I found some online, but that'll be in the next clip. But for now, yeah, it's a waiting game. We'll see maybe in a week or so. Have no idea how long it's going to take to get me these plastic spacers. Okay, so we're back the next day. I contacted the seller last night and I got a reply actually before I went to bed, and I guess because the seller is overseas, they were awake. I don't know if they misinterpreted what I was saying about the missing spacers, but they compensated a little bit for a refund for the missing spacers, or I can send it back for a replacement, which will take about, I don't know how long they said, about 3 to 4 weeks or something like that, or longer than that, I can't remember. So I'm like, I already have this on the wall. I'm not doing no refund. I mean, I'm not doing no exchange. Let me just go find some washers. So I went to a hardware store here or there, just regular washers. Nobody has nylon. I wasn't gonna go online and get them and pay a lot of money. So let me show you how it looks. I think I've already showed you this, guys, but not sure how well you can see. Now this one here has one spacer on each side. Now I don't know if you can tell how the ears are bending in. This is actually touching this metal on this side. Okay, and this one here is bent from the top. It's kind of hard to see that. You got this one on top. This is bending and hitting the mounting bracket on the top side. But this first one on the far right hand side, they have, I doubled them up on all of them, and if you can notice, there's a pure gap in between the orange ear and the black mounting bracket. Same thing on this side. As you can see, they're straight up and down. As you can see, they're straight up and down, and that's because I doubled up on the washers, and as you can see, they're straight up and down, and that's because you got to double up on those spacers. The complaints that I saw that you have to tighten them down so tight that you're bending the ears in to make them tight enough, you shouldn't have to be doing that, and that's why they give you extra spacers. In my case, they gave me extra spacers, they just didn't give me enough. I was missing like 10 to 12 to be able to double up on both sides. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Again, this is how tight I have mine. Now you can tighten them up to where they do stay up. Okay, that's up to you. But I would double up the spacers if you're going to put that much pressure on it. And do not just use one spacer on each side. And do not crank it down to where those ears are bending in. Because what's happening is that metal, that orange ear, is pressing into the black tubing here. And that defeats the purpose of the nylon spacer. So anyway, we're going to take this off, these bars off, and we're going to show you how we stick or adhere washers so that they stay stuck in case you have to do the same thing. So let's go ahead and remove these real quick and get to that part. Okay, so it's been quite a ride so far. So what I did, I went to my local Ace. They actually had nylon washers, and the thickness is about the same as what these are. These actually feel more rigid, so I'm thinking that those are just regular plastic. So if you got these and you think they're nylon, let me know. But these arms I took off here, the ones on the left side, it's just a single spacer, and it looks kind of squished. It could be the adhesive squeezing out of the back side, but either way, we got some. Go to your Ace Hardware. So I've always depended them on specialty screws and nuts, bolts, washers, and stuff like that. They didn't fail me again. So thank you, Ace, for having what I need on those special projects. So just to show you, and these are actually 1/4 inch. That's what the box said, but they fit perfect. I don't know if you can see that. and they will fit for what I need. Alright, next up is Starbond Medium CA glue. This just gives us a little more time to work with rather than having the thin. The thin will be too liquidy. I wouldn't really probably use that because we're working with a vertical piece and not a horizontal piece. It may just drip off the spacer, the nylon spacer. So we're going to use medium. It'll take probably 15 to 20 seconds to set, and then we'll let it sit there for about a minute or two where it should be at full strength. Well, pretty much. I would not use the accelerator, and this is acetone, so I haven't really done any really thorough tests, but I think acetone does not do well with plastics. I'm not sure with nylon. These are true nylon. I'm not sure about those. I wouldn't trust that those are nylon. Just don't use it, or you can use it if you want to and test it, see if it works. It may dissolve your plastic piece. It may or may not. I don't know. I'm not going to take the chance. So I'm just going to use CA glue medium and just dap it on here and then stick it on the hole. Alright. I am putting the bolt through there, probably about a 1/4 inch past, so I have some kind of guide on where I am, because I don't want to, this hole in the center of this is exactly the same size as the hole here on the mounting bracket. Alright, I'm going to put a few drops. It moved around a little bit, but then after that 15-second mark, it kind of got stuck on my finger. That's one thing I need to show you. Always wear your gloves. Okay. Always wear your gloves. I think these are like polyethylene or something like that. I can't remember what. These are like, well, they say poly gloves. Poly gloves. I'll leave this down in the description in case you want to get some of these to work with your CA glue. I put a few drops. I tested it myself and they never stick. So the glue just dries on its own and it never sticks to the glove. So it's pretty good. And since I'm going to work with both sides, I'm just going to go ahead and put gloves on both hands. If you want to make it easier, get some moisture in there and it'll help your hand stick to the glove. Works a little bit better like this. And the great thing about it is you can still use your phone. Whoops. What am I going to? Alright, so the right side has 2, 2, and 2. And the left side only has 1. So now I'm going to put the bolt from the right side to the left. Alright, so I got the bolt through, maybe a 1/4 inch. So now I'm going to take a nylon washer. Okay. Put some Starbond CA drops on it. I'm going to try 1, 2, 3. Get a couple drops on there. Oh, I should have had the other way. Alright, and then slip it on there and push it. We'll just let it dry. So the reason why I wanted to back that bolt out is because that CA glue can glue the plastic to the metal. So as soon as you put it on there, kind of back this out as much as you can, at least until it goes out this way. Alright, cool. So far that is working. CA glue for the win so far. Remember, with your CA glue, kind of give it a few taps. Let the CA glue drip down the nozzle here, just so you don't get any residue on top. And take like a towel, just kind of wipe the tip of it. Put your protective cap back on until you're ready for the next one. Alright, while it fully cures, which it probably should be after a minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and add this one, and then we'll get back to you. All right, we're back. The top ones are dry. It's probably been about 5 minutes or so, which is more than long enough to be ready. So let's slide this on and see if they hold on. And they're holding on. Okay. I don't know why my projects always take longer than usual, but at least I'm showing you in case you run into this. So I was thinking of this, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be true. So this came off, but it's not because of the CA glue attaching to the nylon spacer / washer. It's because that washer was glued onto the plastic, the one with the adhesive that the kit came with, and so that adhesive isn't strong enough. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trash this, or if I can peel it off later. I'm glad I bought extras, and I want to say that these are like a fraction of a millimeter thicker. I am not sure. I'm going to peel the original from the nylon washer I got at the hardware store, and I'm going to measure the thickness of that. I'm going to try to and measure it against this right here. So anyway, I'm going to take one of these, since I know this is a true nylon and not plastic that looks like it's actually getting squished. I'm going to glue it to the actual mounting bracket, because this one over here is mounted, and we're going to have two that are fully mounted to the mounting bracket, or fully glued to the mounting bracket. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready. What we did is we took the new nylon washers. We put some CA glue on one side, since they do not have adhesive on them, and we stuck them to the sides of the mounting bracket here. We did it to both sides. We took off all the ones that originally came with it, which I think are just plastic, because they're like squished like crazy. So anyway, this one here and the fourth one all have the new nylon, no sticky spacers. The first one and this third one here, they both are doubled up with the plastic adhesive washers or spacers that they originally came with. So those are fine for now. If they ever wear out for some reason or whatever, I know what to go get. I do have a few extra anyway, just in case I need to replace them. Let's get this guy on. And it's got a tight little fit. But anyway, we're going to test it out and see and make sure. But let's put the flat washer on, and then let's put the nylon lock washer. Oh yeah, this is nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's nice and sturdy. This is, I tell you what, those are just plastic spacers that this thing came with. These real nylon washers are not giving any give. They're not, I mean, I barely even screwed it in, and look, they stay up. And I didn't even tighten it that tight. Let's loosen it up a little bit. Oh yeah. Alright, let's see what you see. As far as what I can see down here, the ears are not bent in like we showed you earlier. Are they bent in? Because I can't really see. They look nice and straight up and down to me, and they're pretty good. They're pretty tight. As you can see, it's not coming down. So there, the ears are up and down. I think I showed you earlier where the ears were like bent in, because the spacers, they're just plastic. I don't think they're true nylon, because the ones I'm looking at right here are squashed to crap, and they're just like all torn up, and they shouldn't be torn up like that. This one feels okay. It feels good. I'm not gonna complain. For some reason, this one just feels smooth. For some reason, I don't know. So anyway, that is it. We're gonna just put the rest of them on. These are all glued on. The nylon washers. The CA glue seemed to work fine with it. Yeah, so my advice is do not use, well, if you have to. If you have to, you have to. If you can, you can. But I would advise not using the plastic spacers that they included, right? It's just a clear plastic with adhesive on the back, and this is not nylon. But anyway, get real, actual. You can see how it's a milky white actual nylon spacer versus a clear plastic. They operate a lot smoother with these nylon washers. I'll give you the measurements of this nylon washer. I think this is a 1/4 inch, so I don't know if you can see. There's the thickness, and you can see in the screen there that this is a little bit more beefier. You just have to get your own adhesive, like a CA glue, and glue it onto the mounting bracket. Okay, so before we get to the final look, I just want to show you what the difference is between having the true nylon washers slash spacers versus the ones that came with the unit. I guess the nylon creates that friction better than the regular plastic, because I don't think those are nylon washers or spacers. So these are doubled up with the original spacers. These only have one on each side of the true nylon spacer slash washer. But anyway, let me put these up. Now before I let these down, these are tightened just a little bit more than what these are tightened, the actual true nylon washers slash spacers. I'm gonna let them go, and I'll probably fast forward this, but as you can see, these are gonna come down. And just like that, that is the difference between a real nylon washer slash spacer versus a regular plastic spacer. The only disadvantage is that you're going to have to use like a CA glue like I did. You saw me glue them to the black bar, which is the mounting bracket, because there is no adhesive on it. I'd rather have them glued, that way they go on easier and they don't be falling off or slipping off or whatever. You may not mind them coming down like this, right? I can loosen them up to where they come down like these, but I believe that the purpose should be, if they're able to go up, they should stay up. And there's no selling that. That's just how it is, right? Try it for yourself. Go to your Ace Hardware or a hardware that sells the pure nylon washers. You're gonna have to glue them on, find a way, but I'd rather spend a little bit more money in having true nylon washers. Let's show you how it looks with the wood on it. Alright, so I got some 1/4 inch on top. I got some red oak 1/8 inch or 3mm in the middle, and I got my Baltic birch 3mm 1/8 inch on the bottom. Are they level? Well, they're going to be as level as you make them, but so far I have no complaints. It's going to hold up well for me, I think. I don't think it's going anywhere. Give me your thoughts. Do you have one of these? Did it work out for you? Did those ears, those orange ears, did you have to bend them? If you want to break it down, go to your hardware. Probably Ace Hardware. I know they're all independent. Well, at least the ones I've been to, because they have like a name before or after them. If you have one close to you, they have never failed me. And they had the true nylon washers slash spacers. And I feel that they move and act a lot smoother, a lot better than the plastic ones that they give you. Anyway, I hope this video helped you out. If you have one of these, leave a comment down below and let us know. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you return them? Or what? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, let me know as always by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you can. It helps out a lot. And until next time, hope you're having a good day doing whatever it is you do. I'll talk to you later. Peace.